Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MPIRE Financial Podcast. I know it's been a while. I'm so sorry. I've been a little busy. A lot of you guys are reaching out, asking us for mortgages, asking for help, looking for answers. And you know what? My first priority is to help you looking at your phone, looking at your tablet, laptop, whatever you got going on. If you need our help, that's what we're here for. But guys, I'm back, and I'm coming back with a banger with a really special guest that has a lot of valuable information that you guys are also asking us for, and actually things that I need to further learn to help you guys even more. So guys, without no further ado, I want to introduce you to the one and the only managing partner of New World Title, Mr. Salím Patel.
Okay.
Bro.
Well, and
How long are they gonna laugh for?
yeah, they're gonna keep it. What? Okay. that kept going. So that went for a while. I was like, all right, when's this stopping? All right. So first of all, he said with a banger and an exciting topic, and I would say in the real estate industry, it's well known that the most boring, dull aspect of any real estate transaction is actually what we do. I'm going to try to be as entertaining as possible. All right. So I'm going to lift it up.
This is the first time we got him here. But we're going to entertain y'all, and we're going to make sure that you, most importantly, learn, right, what Salím has to tell us, because this is one of the most important things that you will have to encounter and pay for during the purchase of an investment property or a primary residence. So even if it's not exciting or fun and it's dull or whatever, we got to talk about it. Because this podcast, we talk about what we have to talk about, all right? Not just whatever's going on in the moment. What's going on right now? There's like hurricanes coming by and freaking inflation is crazy. Jobs are going down and all these different things. We got to talk about all of it because it's necessary. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow, Papa Powell is supposed to not say anything. And we going to see. Because if he says something, that's what's going to happen. I won't be making any more podcasts after I'm going to be so busy with the lower interest rates.
Let's hope.
I hope that that you guys gain a lot of valuable knowledge from this episode. So let me not keep BSing. Let's get to it, brother. So, Salím, welcome. Thanks for coming again. Appreciate you.
Well, Audrey, I appreciate you having me.
I know that we've been trying to do this for a little while, but we made it happen. We're here. So actually, what is title, Salím? Like, what actually is that?
What title is, or what a title search is we're searching for any liens, judgments, or encumbrances on a particular parcel of property or particular property. Title has to be done where it's actually mandatory for any a lender. So a lender will not give money without title being, not only a search being done, but then a policy being attributed to that particular transaction. Why is that important? Because a lender wants to secure their money, right? You will not let someone borrow money. That's a risk. And a potential risk is on a property. So you have judgments, you have liens. So judgments could be something like child support. Lien, it could be a tax lien or a sewer lien that's unpaid, right? Or it could be a previous mortgage or undisclosed mortgage. So we want to make sure that, that we inform the lender and obviously the buyer that these are potential risks that we have to resolve that's associated with the property. Now, a lot of these are common. They do show up, and we just have to figure out how we're going to close out and clear these items so that we can remove what we call in the title industry cloudy title, right? If there's a cloud on title, there's something there that's an issue, potentially like an easement or it could be a number of things. And then what we do is we try to clear it out, and then we tell the lender and we tell all parties we are clear to close, which is the magical words that everyone wants to hear.
I feel like I have nightmares about those three words, clear to close. But you keep saying, by the way, I think we lost half the audience with your answer.
Okay. We could slow down or we could speed it up.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so you mentioned search. Where are you searching? And what are you searching for? Are you going on ChatGPT? Are you on Google, Yahoo Finance?
No. So, and great question. So when we say searches, is we're searching county records. So we actually have search companies that we employ or actual searchers, and they go to the county records and they actually physically, some of it is online. So it could be some of it is online, but sometimes you physically have to go to the clerk's office and get the information from the county clerk registrar and understand from them, okay, this is the deed on record. These are the mortgages on record. This is what's been recorded with the county, right? And then there's other types of searches that happen, upper court, lower court searches that search for, like I said, child support, and or like you have the Patriot search, which, you know, checks to see if there's any foreign, you know, money coming in or something like that, making sure that the person is not on any terrorist watch list or anything like that. So, you know, just it could be a number of searches that we're required to do. And every lender actually has different requirements as well. So we might also flood searches, right? So we'll make sure if there's, you know, the property's in a flood zone or so on and so forth.
So as you guys can see, this is the importance of checking and doing a title search. Even if you're buying cash, as a matter of fact, without a lender, without me, you want to still do your own title search to check all those different things that potentially might come up on the property or the prior owners that owned the property that was they use the property as a lien.
And I'm actually glad you brought that up. So on a cash transaction, it's not required because it's not a lender requirement, no lender. But I know multiple investors that bought multiple properties, experienced investors. One is a broker owner of a brokerage up in Passaic County that would buy foreclosure properties, and they never got title insurance. We're buying it cash, whatever, and they never had any issues until you have an issue. When you have an issue is when it bites you in the, and you're like, all of a sudden, you know what, I should have just paid the few $1,000s and protected myself, you know, because then you could lose the property. The broker owner I was mentioning, you know, he didn't know there was a $300,000 mortgage outstanding, right? And this was a second mortgage. And so he didn't, and it wasn't cleared in the foreclosure auction. They went after the property. He had to pony up that money or he would have lost and it was a 4-unit property. He would have lost the property if he didn't have the cash in hand, right? So sometimes you're penny wise, dollar foolish.
That's the quote of the day, guys. With that same example that you just gave, actually, I had a client call me over the weekend. We were actually together Friday night and with some of our colleagues, and I got a phone call Friday night. It was like 11 p.m. talking about, oh, I'm looking to buy a property. I had a title company do a title search. We did the county and this, that, and the third. I don't know about this stuff. Salím is the guy I call, guys. I only know about mortgages and numbers. Call me about that. Anyways, she asked me if I could find a way to find out if there's any liens on the property for past mortgages because they had a first mortgage and they had a second mortgage. And I'm just like, have you done a title search? Yeah, I did a title search, but they only know about this. I'm like, it's so important for you to have a good relationship with your title company because you can always go a little bit extra mile and maybe call the mortgage company yourself because you guys know the right questions to ask and who to talk to get that vital information, because without that information of what potentially the property owes, she's not going to buy it because she's scared that if she buys it, then they can come after her. The same example that you mentioned. So this is real life stuff that is super necessary. And if you are, penny wise and dollar foolish, you're going to lose your shirt. Even if it's hot as hell in the summer, we don't want to lose our shirt.
Not at all. Protect your investment. This is sometimes people's largest investment they're ever going to make in their life. And why wouldn't you just spend a few $1,000s to have that self-assurance, right? Like, okay, you know what, if there is an issue that does come up, at least I know I'm protected. I can contact the title company and they can handle any potential claims that people are applying to the property you think you own.
So you mentioned something before, Salím, about title search, and then you also said title insurance. What is the actual difference between a title search and a title insurance?
So searches are just that. We conduct a search and we send you the searches, the results of the searches. But it doesn't mean you're protected. What if there was something missed, right? Like that didn't come in those preliminary searches or whatever have you when we did those searches. So you don't have a policy. So what the title policy is we took those searches and we furthered it in terms of putting it into an actual policy that protects you. Meaning now if a claim does come against you or the property, that you're protected. That let's say that $300,000 mortgage that the broker owner didn't get. If he had a policy, right, that means he would have been protected because the title company should have found it, right? And if they didn't find it, then the title company's on the hook. So they're the ones handling that foreclosure process, making sure that that property doesn't go into foreclosure and the buyer doesn't lose that property.
So in the example I gave about my client from over the weekend, should I just tell her to get a title insurance policy?
Yeah. So if she goes ahead and goes through the transaction, we would just go through the closing process and make sure that at close, when she finalizes the transaction, that she has a policy that's in effect. And if you're financing it, you wouldn't be able to finance it either without that policy being in effect.
Correct. Salim, let me ask you this. Where do you see the market going? What is your thoughts, or what are you seeing today? I mean, currently it's August, end of August of 2025.
I mean, if you see the latest market forecast, you see property staying on the market longer than it has been in the last few years, right?
Yeah.
So the property market is slowing down. Now, that's nationally, but we're insulated a little bit because we're so close to New York City, right? The largest metropolitan market in the country. And so while other markets might see a significant shift, I don't think we're going to see as much of an impact. We're so densely populated, especially northern New Jersey. And then all of the money that's flowing out of, New York, all that New York money, they're still going to buy property along in Ocean County, along the ocean, and so on and so forth. So I feel that we're a little bit insulated. So we might see a softening where things stay, longer on the market. We're not going to see the significant price hikes as much, but we are going to still see transactions. So that what that means is anybody that's about their business, and for those that are watching that are in the real estate business, if you're about your business, you're going to do well. If you're not about your business, you're going to start waiting tables again. That's all. It's true though, right? We're seeing a shift. People are how many lenders have left the market, or they were full-time and then they left to take their full-time job and they're part-time lenders?
About to be another one right here. Edit that out. No, honestly, I heard a statistic, I think it was spring of this year, 25, where it said that 70% of mortgage loan officers did not renew their license.
Wow.
So when you are a mortgage lender, you have to have a license, a loan officer license, and you have to do continuing education every single year. So after your license, every year you still have to do like 12 hours or something like that every year per state that you are licensed in. And the point is 70% of the people that were supposed to register again or take continuing education did not. So that was 400,000, by the way. Out of 400,000, there's only like 90,000 loan officers left.
Congratulations. If you can survive this market and continue through, that means there's a much larger allocation of business for you, as long as you do what you need to do.
All I did was just take the continuing education, bro.
No, but what I mean is staying, boots on the ground, hustling, grinding, making sure you're uncovering and going after all your contacts in your sphere of influence, getting those loans into your pipeline, right? And a lot of times people just don't do the work or don't know how to do the work.
You definitely said it, and you hit the nail on the head. It's just doing the work. I mean, people are scared. People are nervous. People don't want to sell because mortgage rates are higher than they were years ago. Houses are more expensive. But people have to move. People have to buy a house. People are tired of paying rent. There's landlords that are selling their properties. There's people that have had babies and now need more, space to live. There's investors that, if you're a full-time investor in real estate, what are you going to do? Real estate. So there's still a need out there. And like you said before, we're the largest metropolitan area. This is a more densely populated state. So there's transactions out there. You just got to look for them. You can't just be sitting behind your desk waiting for things to happen.
And we've been having multiple conversations about not having capital. There's so many deals out there and not enough capital.
Yeah.
So the deals are out there.
Yeah.
There's so many deals out there, and it's just a matter of choosing the best one that makes the most sense. But the deals are out there, and it's about you. If you're, Mr. Lender, Mrs. Lender, or a real estate agent, business is out there. And if you don't know how to go get it, you need to find someone that can mentor you, that can show you how to get it.
Let's go back for a second to the title part. How long does it actually take to do a title search and get a title policy?
With everything, it depends, right? So we could get searches back as quickly as one day. Typically, it's going to be from 3 to 10 business days, right? Can we get it back quicker? Yes, it depends how manual. If it's something we can pull online versus, we have to do manually, so on and so forth. But where the real issues arise is if there's issues on the title and we can't clear it, right? And so everything should be able to be cleared, but sometimes it just takes longer than, other files. Mm-hmm. So the more complex a file, the longer it will take. Certain, especially commercial files that extend through multiple lots, parcels, so on and so forth, where we have to tick and tie and match, the chain of ownership,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to make sure that everything is matching. Sometimes those take a little bit longer. It could even take up to a few weeks on the more complex commercial, but the sophisticated investor already understands that.
Yeah.
And the law firms that we're dealing with already understand the complexity of commercial transactions, and they bake that into the transaction. But again, 3 to 10 days is your normal turnaround time. New World Title, I think we've been averaging anywhere from 4 to 6 days.
Wow, it's actually very fast. Salím, as we're rounding out the episode, let's hear 2 or 3 pieces of advice you can give to experienced or new investors, whether it's title or just real estate in general.
Your network is your net worth, and everyone says that.
It's more true today than any
But it's
time.
important, and part of that is the professionals you surround yourself with, right? And the type of people that you surround yourself with. So, you know, you have to look at your social circle and see, okay, what kind of value are they providing? Your friends are your friends, right? But I'm talking about where you're choosing to invest your time. My relationships are constantly bringing me opportunities, bringing me deals, so on and so forth. Hey, we have this investment opportunity. We have that investment opportunity. Do you know anyone that would be interested in this investment property? And guess what? Or, you know, a lot of my clients, so for example, wholesalers, right? I work with a lot of wholesalers, and my relationship with them is really great. And guess what? They give me a lot of times first dibs. Hey, if you have a client, I'll give your clients first dibs, right? Why? Because I've invested in that relationship and provided value in that relationship and have brought buyers at a timely, you know, on a timely basis that have closed, right? And you build that relationship, you build that trust. So invest in your relationships that are providing value, right? And it doesn't mean that it's one-sided, right? Meaning you have to provide value as well. What value are you providing yourself? So that's the second piece of advice is, what value are you providing others, right? What have you invested in yourself that you can then go in and invest in your relationships?
Yeah.
And the third piece of advice, I think, is also just be a good human being, right? I think that gets lost in the real estate industry, is that you just have a lot of degenerates that are self-serving, right? And just all they do is care about themselves. And guess what? They're the ones getting out of the business, you know, or they're the ones that people don't want to work with. So if they're a real estate agent and they submit deals, you know, they're submitting offers, you know, the listing agent doesn't want to see it, hear it, because they know your reputation.
Right.
And lenders as well. They might see, okay, this lender is associated with this file, and then the listing agent is just like, oh, I got to deal with this lender. They screwed me on this. They screwed me on that.
Yep.
And I think, so be a good person. Be honest, right, in your transactions. And what you'll see is that it'll actually pay itself forward, where people want to work with you, people are referring you business, and people want to be in your circle.
I think we ended this with a banger. I think it really was a banger because the information that Salím is spitting out here, straight facts.
So I got a random question.
Huh?
In a fight,
Okay.
Gandalf or Dumbledore? That question is for Edwin, actually.
Edwin Productions, answer that question. You don't even know who those 2 people
No,
are.
he knows Gandalf the Gray or Gandalf the White from Lord of the Rings, or Dumbledore. Gandalf? Okay, he said Gandalf. Oh, he's a Dumbledore. Okay. Yeah. All right, let the audience chime in on that one. We could put we could put a separate
comment section.
Yeah, we could put a separate clip on this one.
No doubt. Guys, I hope that you guys found this information really helpful. Really helped me definitely understanding what it looks like and what it should be, and how long should it take to get a title search. You know, different companies operate differently. I know that it's very not legalized. What would the word be? The way that the title industry is ran.
Complex.
The way that title is done is very complex. I know you have a lot of scrutiny from the government and stuff on what you should be allowed to charge and how you could do your searches and whatever else. But it's really important, guys, for you to do a title search where you're buying cash or buying with a lender, and actually talk to your attorney to read the policy, understand what went on. Because if you buy a property and you didn't do the right search, you didn't do your own research on the property, you're going to end up potentially screwing yourself out of a good deal.
Do you have luxury buyers?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would suggest also for any of your luxury buyers is to ask their title company, or ask you on behalf, you know, of them, about an enhanced policy. So this is a different type of policy that I do recommend for anyone buying a luxury home or a high ticket priced item.
We're going to get into that in the next episode, but since we're out of time, guys, let's thank Salím Patel from New World Title for coming here to MPIRE Financial Podcast, and we're definitely going to have you back because I need to keep learning from you, brother. I appreciate it.
Looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Later, guys.